Hey there, I'm professional psychic Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, April 24th, 2022. I really appreciate that you take the time and attention to watch this video. I really do. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, like it, make comments, and please share it with, everybody you can think of that might be interested in this video, right? So I'll be talking as usual about the transits for the entire week. The biggest ones are Pluto goes retrograde, and we have a new moon solar eclipse this week. And so I'll dive into more details about that. I'll also do mini readings for all 12 signs. And I suggest you look at not only your sun sign, but your moon sign and your rising sign. And if you have a stellium, which means 3 or more planets in a sign, look at that sign as well. So I'll put the timestamps below so you can check out the signs that are pertinent to you or your loved ones. So let's dive on in. So right now the sun is at 4 degrees of Taurus. It's in the first decan of Taurus. So Taurus is the second house in astrology. It represents our physical body, how we feed ourselves. It's our finances and money as well. It's how we value ourselves. Taurus is hardworking. It's about being grounded. It's an earth sign. So it's about Tauruses. If you know any Tauruses, they're generally hardworking. They usually do what they say they're going to do. So Taurus can be about walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Tauruses are usually self-reliant. So anytime the sun is moving through, we're all feeling that kind of energy, not just Tauruses. Of course, it highlights the people who have Taurus planets. But for all of us, we get to tap into this lovely grounded Taurus energy. It's creative, it's inventive. It's how you show up in the world. What does that look like? It's about valuing yourself, and it's about your valuables. What do you value? It's ruled by Venus. Venus rules relationships, and it rules our money. It's how we receive energy, right? So Taurus then is about money and finances. It's about relationships. So we have a lot of emphasis on these things as the sun moves through Taurus. So one of the things is an opportunity is to see the value in ourselves, see the value in the world around us and the people in our lives. It also can highlight relationships, romantic ones in particular, because Venus is activated when the sun moves through a sign she rules. All right, so the moon right now is in Aquarius. Aquarius is the 2 wavy lines. It's an air sign, so we can be kind of spacey or check out or be, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the sudden unexpected. It's the great awakener. It's the maverick. So the moon can make us kind of rebellious when it moves through Aquarius, thinking outside the box, spacey. If I already said that's because the moon's in Aquarius. And in this last decan, as it is now, it's 24 degrees as I'm recording this. It's about really feeling the vibes out about the future. Aquarius is the 11th house in an astrological chart, which is the house of networks, groups, connections with others. So the moon moving through Aquarius makes us want to reach out to those, our friends and our circle, and connect in that way. So tomorrow, Monday, the moon moves into Pisces. It'll spend Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday moving through Pisces. So Pisces energy is the slippery fish, right? One fish swimming this way, another fish swimming this way. So it represents and Pisces is the 12th house in astrology. It's the wrap up. It's where we let go of things. When we wrap up the story, it's like bring things to a conclusion or ending. It can be about releasing things. And then one fish on the high end is about psychic and spiritual connections and being at one with the universe and the divine and being present and being able to receive these psychic spiritual energies and downloads. And on the downside, the other fish swimming the other direction can be about illusion, delusion, addiction, like what? I don't know, fuzzy thinking. It's a water sign. So our emotions can be heightened as the moon, which represents our inner realm, our intuition, and our emotional state moves through Pisces. So it can feel, and we're heading into Pluto going retrograde and this new moon solar eclipse, both of which we feel in advance. So we've been feeling these already. We often start feeling eclipses a month ahead of time, and then we'll feel them for 6 months after. So as it's going closer to the eclipse, which will be Saturday, we can feel the buildup, right? As it's moving in that direction. So as the moon crosses over the 4 planets that are in Pisces right now, Mars, Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter. Now, Neptune and Jupiter are the rulers of Pisces. So they're at their most potent in Pisces. Jupiter expands things. Neptune's the psychic radar, picking up on all the frequencies. Mars is how we take action and move forward in life. So Mars in Pisces, Mars rules Aries, which is a fire sign. So Mars in Pisces is like submerging this fireball into water. And then all of a sudden we could lose, it creates steam. So we can lose our oomph and our traction and feel like it's difficult to move forward. Venus is in Pisces too. Venus actually is exalted in Pisces. It's a great placement for Venus. The planet of love and relationships are money. So that's a lovely, lovely thing. So the moon will cross over all these planets from Tuesday, well, actually Monday. I think she'll cross over Mars on Monday, and then she moves to the second decan where there's no planets. Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter are all in the third decan right now. So I think it'll be Wednesday by the time she crosses over those. So these themes will be highlighted. So, and then she moves into Aries. Thursday, she moves from Pisces into Aries, and that's a real shift in energies when the moon moves from this water sign into this fire sign. She'll cross over Chiron while she's in Aries. I always see planets moving through Aries is stirring up volatility with people. Aries can be impulsive. We can jump into things, blurt things out of our mouths. We can also find the passion for things, be extra tuned into our inner child. And the moon moves through Aries, crossing over Chiron, which is at 13 degrees, which she'll probably do Friday. Can highlight the areas where we're wounded, we feel wounded. And then as it moves into the last decan, that's anytime planets move through Aries, I see a lot of volatility, a lot of people with unresolved anger issues just losing it. So the more conscious you are, the higher ends, the better ends, the higher vibrational ends of a sign or a planet you can draw from. The more unconscious, asleep you are, not plugging into your divine higher self or your intuition, the more you're likely to manifest the lower ends of planets and signs, because everybody has the positives and negatives. Each sign has positives and negatives. Each planet has positive and negatives. So more about the stellium in Pisces. Since the most planets are there right now, we're really feeling the Pisces energy. We're also really feeling the Taurus energy because the sun is there, Uranus is there, Mercury is there, and the North Node is there. So these are the prominent energies that we're feeling, and they're sextiling each other. So they're actually working in harmony with each other. The planets in Taurus and the planets in Pisces are symbiotic, right? In order to hold water, Pisces energy, you need earth, right? So they work very well together. They can also create mud, however, mixing earth and water together. So Pisces is a water sign, and water is about releasing, clearing, letting things go, about healing. So Jupiter, like I said, is one of the rulers of Pisces. Jupiter is the good luck planet. It brings benefits, it brings gifts, it makes things bigger. So in Pisces, it's increasing, again, whatever level of the consciousness you're in. If you're doing your meditation, you're plugging in and you're centered and you're clear, and you're tapped into your intuition, you can really get amazing dreams. You can get psychic hits. You can have these spiritual aha moments and realizations that are super powerful. And then Jupiter can expand the lower end of the Pisces realm as well. So if you're caught up in addiction, illusion, delusion, it can make that bigger and make that more intensive. So people's addictions can really come to a head when Jupiter is in Pisces. Same with Neptune. Neptune is, again, it's the co-ruler of Pisces as well. On the high end, we can have these amazing divine psychic, because Neptune's like a psychic radar, a psychic antenna, right? So it just, ooh, things can be extra intuitive, extra psychic. Dreams can be super vivid, psychic hits, picking up on loved ones in other places, even if they're not around, picking up on loved ones that are near you as well. But you can pick up on people that are like on the other side of the planet. With Neptune and Pisces, it's heightened, it's really strengthened. But again, too, illusions, delusions, addictions can be in there. But you can really feel the divine hand, the hand of the divine, hands of the divine, the energy of the divine coming into your life. If you're tapping into it, it should be easier to tap in, to easier to meditate, right? If you can really draw on the strengths of the divine energy, turn things over to your higher self, allow the spiritual connections, it can be very beautiful. So some of the Pisces energies is unconditional love. It's about divine love, spiritual love, right? Being able to love yourself unconditionally, love others unconditionally. This brings in these energies. It can also be depression, right? It can be spiritual empowerment. It can be victim consciousness, depending on which fish you're plugging into. Realizations, realizing your karmic patterns and things, releasing karmic patterns, since it's the 12th sign of the zodiac. Neptune dissolves things too, so it takes things away. So you can have clarity around what's in your way, what are your karmic patterns as these planets are in this sign. Since it's a water sign, our emotional bodies are heightened. You could be crying for no reason. If you're tapped into other people in distress, you're psychically empathic. It can be so intensive. You can want to be left alone. You might need solace, extra peace and quiet, extra rest. You could be extra tired. You might feel extra creative. But it's a deep karmic cleansing that's going on, especially with the stellium, all these planets here. Now, Mars in Pisces, we could really, since it loses its traction, we could really be tired, especially if you're ruled by Mars, which is Aries, folks. Also, Mars is a co-ruler of Scorpio. So Scorpio people can also feel offline a little bit with Mars and Pisces. Although you're a water sign, so it's not as bad as for the Scorpios. The Aries can really be like, I don't have it. I can't. I'm tired. I want to sleep. And that's everyone. I mean, it's not just the Aries, but the Aries, because their ruling planet is in Pisces, where it's not comfortable at all. The Aries folks in general, or wherever you have Aries in your chart, could really feel affected by this Mars and Pisces stuff. You could feel offline, just out of sync, not know how to take action. And you might just feel like lazy and unable to move and like unmotivated kind of energies, how that could show up. So Mercury represents our thoughts and communications. Right now, Mercury's at 24 degrees of Taurus. So in Taurus, since it represents our thoughts and our communications, we can have really grounded conversations. You can really get to the heart of things. You can take your time with your thinking and your conversations and really get to an easy conclusion. It's not like Aries, where it's like impulsive and fiery, like, okay, we can work this out. So Mercury and Taurus can really be, and being a problem solver is kind of what I sense with Mercury and Aries. And you can take your time before taking action. You know, Taurus is a planner, so you can like, okay, think about what you want to say before you say it. So Mercury sextiles Neptune. Actually, it's sextiling Neptune beginning, it's already started today. It'll go until tomorrow, Monday. So this is sextile is a positive relation. So the planet of communication and our thoughts having a positive connection with Neptune, the psychic spiritual radar planet. So you can have insights, right? Extra insights, bringing that, especially because Neptune's in Pisces, spiritual psychic insights can happen, realizations, aha moments can be happening, and really like insightful communications where you can really listen and hear the other person. I'm like, what a concept. So, and then Mercury sextiles Jupiter on Tuesday. So here's another positive connection. And Jupiter again brings gifts, makes things bigger. So you can have some really fabulous conversations. Like I see the conversation realm really great this week. It can be easy to open up dialogue. You can get the hit of how to start a conversation, a difficult conversation with someone. You can open up your thinking. It can clear your thinking, especially with all this Pisces energy that can make you go, what? The sextile with Mercury and Jupiter can actually help you do clear assessment, because Mercury's bringing that grounded Taurus energy in. Oh, okay. Make a clear plan. That can really happen this week, really at any time. And again, for transits, just because I say a certain day, we'll feel transits ahead of time. You can feel them strong as they're happening. You can feel them after the effects. So as a psychic, I often feel transits ahead of time. I feel like I'm feeling the energies before they get here very often. So that could be you as well. So anything I say a certain day, you could feel it ahead of time, after, lingering. It's all connected, right? So here's a heads up. On Tuesday, Mercury enters its shadow zone at 26 degrees of Taurus. What is a shadow zone? It means that Mercury is going to be going retrograde. It goes retrograde on May 10th. So we have a few more weeks before it goes retrograde. But during the shadow period is the part of the chart that Mercury will retrograde back to. So it will be in Gemini at 4 degrees when it starts retrograding in May, and it'll go all the way back to this 26-degree point that it's going to get to on Tuesday. So it's starting to show you, if you pay attention, what your thoughts are, where your communications are, what comes into your thinking, what comes into your realm when it comes to these areas of your thoughts, your mind, your communication with others. It begins to show you what the theme is going to be for Mercury retrograde. And since Mercury will retrograde in one of its home sign, Mercury rules Gemini, where it's going to be when it starts retrograding. So it'll be extra intensive, extra, Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap because, communications can go south, and, but it's also an opportunity to rethink, reevaluate. Mercury rules are not only our communication and our thoughts, but also our technology, our phones, our computers, devices of all kinds, and our cars, our transportation, short-term travel, right? So it's always classic not to try to sign contracts or make plans during Mercury retrograde. It's not a great time to travel. You can travel during Mercury retrograde. You just want to allow extra time for delays, because it's so common for that to be happening. I had a great trip several years ago during Mercury retrograde. Didn't have any problems, but I took my time. I let things just flow. I didn't worry too much about any glitches coming up. And there was a couple little minor things, but I think if you're looking ahead and starting to pay attention, starting this week, what themes start coming up, because it'll roll out the teachings that Mercury is going to teach you for retrograde. Because when it goes back, it's like a reassessment time, a reevaluation time. It's like studying again for an exam of material you've already gone over when Mercury goes retrograde. So just a heads up, the next Mercury retrograde is coming, and we're entering shadow zone this week. Mercury actually enters Gemini this Friday on the 29th. So it'll change signs, so we can feel the shift of energies. And initially, Mercury and Gemini, it's like we can all feel extra buzzy, extra, creative thinking. We can get more. Mercury's an air sign. Gemini is an air sign. So like our speech could speed up from going from like chill Taurus to Mercury, like it's a whole different vibration. Mercury's the twins. You bounce things between you and your other evil twin back and forth and back and forth. So just know that that's going to be going on this week. Let's see, what else do I have about Mercury? Oh, it trines Pluto on Thursday before it goes into Gemini. It trines Pluto. So Pluto is death and transformation, it's power and control, but a trine is a positive relationship. So it can be transformational thinking, transformational conversations. You could also come to a conclusion, this is over. I'm not doing any more of this, because Pluto's are endings, right? I'll never do that again. That could be another thing that comes in this week. So I really feel like communications can be really fabulous this week. If you need to have a conversation with someone, this is a great, like a difficult conversation with someone, this is a great week to do it. Great week to write in your journal and have realizations about what's going on internally. That, are you stopping to take an assessment? This is a great week to do that. All right, now Venus is a major player this week. That's because of the stellium in Taurus, the Sun, Uranus, North Node, and Mercury, all ruled by Venus. So it highlights Venus. And where is Venus? Venus is in Pisces, where another stellium is. So again, Venus is relationship, who we love, what we love. It's female energy, our females in our life. It's the divine feminine within each one of us. So it's our female friends, it's our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, right? So there's a lot of emphasis with feminine energy, and every male also has the divine feminine within you as well. So it's not just about women, it's about that nurturing, receptive, intuitive part of everyone. Again, Venus is about money and finances, how we receive energy. It's also arts and creativity. So that's, the Venus theme here. Okay. And just a little back history of what Venus has been through. She's been through it, man. So she was the ruler of the total eclipse that we had back in November, because the total eclipse, so she's already been like activated. She was activated back with the eclipse in November. Then she went retrograde in December, and she had crossed over Pluto beforehand, and then she crossed back over Pluto when she retrograded, and then she crossed back over Pluto again when she went forward. So she had 3 interactions with the death and transformation planet. So Venus really ended up changed. So a lot of us have experienced already major change when it comes to the realm of our relationships and our money and finances and how we receive energy. Like, we've already been changed up. So Venus has already been like transformed. It's like going through the car wash 3 times. She traveled with Mars, right? Venus is divine feminine, Mars is the divine masculine. They traveled together for an entire month. That was an unprecedented thing. Mars really kind of helped. Usually Venus is whipping on past her because she's moving forward, but after that retrograde, she was like, I don't have it. And so the Mars energy was traveling with her. So there was this like divine progression with the 2 of them together. So they had a lot of time to communicate about what they love and how they want to take action and planning together, right? So she was the ruler of the recent full moon we just had. She's been deeply changed. We've all been deeply changed. Do you feel that? Can you see the areas of your life where you've had this deep level change? So now she's more evolved going through all these changes. She has more wisdom around relationships, more wisdom around finances. There's been some ahas and realizations because of all that Pluto. She's been transformed in how she looks at things. So she knows what she wants and needs right now. So that's true for a lot of us, right? Clarity, getting clearer about what we want and need in relationships, what we want and need in terms of how we earn money, how we manage our money. She has a new understanding of the karma that we are carrying in terms of our relationships and our finances, because she's in Pisces now, right? With this 12th house realization stuff. She's like, Oh, right. So if we've been doing our work, is what I put in my notes, we have a new relationship with ourselves, which will be reflected in our relationships and our finances. So, as within, so without. So, we've been going through deep changes on a personal level. Venus is a personal planet. So, it affects us very strongly. It's really about who we are and what we are. So, now Venus in Pisces is about divine love, unconditional love, learning how to love yourself unconditionally primarily, but also learning how to extend unconditional love to others. Divine guidance about your relationships and finances. It's also because it's about endings. It can be soul contracts ending, like people that you've been with, or you said, yeah, we'll do this. And like, okay, well, all right, time's up here. I've learned what I needed to learn from this relationship. So a lot of people are finding that. That's been true for a while. Again, Venus interacting with Pluto 3 different times, death and transformation. Some relationships have already gone belly up, right? That happened, over the last several months. But some people decided that things needed to end. And now you're like, okay, now I'm really done. Now I'm moving out, kind of a thing. Can really be how that can be showing up for people. And not everybody, of course, but if a relationship is not serving you anymore, you will have had that realization over the last few months, and you'll go, all right, now I'm stepping out, I'm moving forward. Or if you're not taking that action, you've had the realization and you're not moving forward, this is the time. This week is the week to start a new beginning, because we'll have that new moon solar eclipse. I'll talk more about that in a minute. So the more evolved souls are moving forward, because Pisces is like these two realms, like the spiritual psychic realm and then the illusion delusion. I'm really seeing a separation just in the collective, like people who are waking up, who are tapping into their own psychic abilities. I believe everyone is psychic, by the way, and doing their spiritual practices, like yielding these higher vibrational things. And then the lower end of people who are stuck in their illusion delusion, don't want to get things moving and flowing in their lives, and just like are checking out. And so there's a separation for, in the collective, between people who want to gather with other people who are awake and move away from the people who are asleep. Like that's happening. I'm seeing that a lot in private sessions, just saying that people are moving away from, they've outgrown. If you're awake and conscious and tapping in, you're outgrowing these people that are asleep, unconscious, stuck in their addictions and illusions. All right. So, and new vibes attract new vibes, right? So if you're shifting your vibration, your vibrational energy has been shifting because you've been transforming yourself, you're going to have a different reflection. You're going to have new souls moving in, new reflections of this new energy within. And the relationships you've outgrown are going to feel like a shoe that's too tight, or jeans that don't fit anymore, leather that's been all, crinkled and hard. Leather can get hard, so it's like, if it doesn't fit anymore, don't try to wear it. Don't try to force yourself to be around something, right? Around someone that doesn't work for you. Venus sextiles the North Node tomorrow. So North Node is in Taurus. It's at 23 degrees. The North Node is where we're collectively in school. We're learning. What are we learning? How to value ourselves primarily. And all these Taurus Venus themes I've been talking about already. North Node, we're in school. And so Venus, as it's sextiling this North Node, is able to receive more clear downloads, receive insights into valuing yourself, seeing people walk into your life that do value you. That's one of the ways that can show up. Receiving money where you feel literally valued financially can happen with this sextile on Monday, tomorrow. Then Venus conjuncts Neptune on Wednesday. So the love planet connecting with the spiritual divine planet. I mean, this is a beautiful transit this week. We can really have spiritual downloads, like enlightened experiences, ascension, like levitation, if you're into that. You can have your astral travel thing going on. You can feel lifted in your spirit, just this, feel like you're loved, being able to tap into love more easily, feeling that divine love. You could have insight into your karmic themes around your relationships, insights into the females in your life, connections with the females in your life in a very positive way. Again, you can get caught up in the illusion and delusion piece, but Neptune and Venus, that's a pretty much a kiss kiss. Venus has a tendency to bring out the best in Neptune. So it can be this very like a love fest is what it can be. It can also be dissolving what you don't, again, because Neptune dissolves things, takes things away. So you can have relationships that just go, yeah, no. Like the dissolving relationships, it can be the increase of money coming in, it can be the dissolving of money. So watch your spending as well on Wednesday. So then Venus is a player. She's ruling this solar eclipse that we're having because it's in Taurus, and it'll be at Taurus at 10 degrees on Saturday. I wrote the time down here in my notes at 11:14. No, that's the next eclipse. It's at 3:28 p.m. That's Austin, Texas time, Central Standard Time. It's just Central Daylight Time, I guess now. Is when the eclipse is exact. So at the point on Saturday afternoon when the eclipse is exact and the new moon is exact, Venus will be at 26 degrees and 55 minutes, so almost 27 degrees. This is super powerful because she's, in an exalted placement in Pisces. This is like one of the best signs that she can be in. And the one most degree that she is the most exalted at is 27 degrees of Pisces. So she's going to be like in her exaltation. There's like 360 degrees in the astrology chart. She's going to be at the degree point where she is the most potent and powerful during this eclipse that she rules. Not only that, and there's more. She's going to be conjunct Jupiter, which brings good luck and benefits and makes things bigger. So this is like a super potent, powerful new moon that can really bring in beautiful, divine, wonderful things around relationships and money and finances. There's an opportunity for like the kiss of the divine. So new moons are always new beginnings, time to plant new seeds and start new cycles. But a new moon solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. It's like planting Jack and the Beanstalk seeds, right? And again, whatever we plant, whatever intentions we set will just explode over the next 6 months. So it's really important this week that going into the eclipse, you have clarity about what new things you want to create in your life, particularly in the realms of valuing yourself, how you take care of your physical body, these Taurus things, your money, your finances, your relationships. Like these are the areas that are most likely to be affected in a very powerful way with the new beginning, new seeds energies happening. So it's super exciting. Like this Venus conjunct Jupiter just by itself like magnifies love. It's like it's the Venus crosses over Jupiter once a year because it takes about a year to go around the chart. Jupiter takes about a year. So they get together like once a year usually. But for them to get together in these last degrees of Pisces, so it's like the last degrees of the whole zodiac. So it's wrapping up a whole theme, right? And so Jupiter, Jupiter takes about a year to move through a sign. Like it's clipped through Pisces pretty quickly this year. It'll bump up into Aries, and then it'll turn back around and come back into Pisces a little bit. But usually it takes about 12 years for Jupiter to go through the entire chart. Venus goes through the entire chart in a year. Jupiter usually takes 12 years, right? So Jupiter is about to end its 12-year cycle because it's at the very last degrees of Pisces. So this eclipse happening when Venus is conjunct Jupiter. And so it's like wrapping up a karmic pattern in terms of relationships with money. Whatever's been going down for the last 12 years can be really shifted, and a whole new beginning for the next dozen years can start with this powerful eclipse, right? So starting a whole new theme, because Jupiter, I believe, goes into Aries in May. Yeah, it goes into Aries May 10th. So the same day that Mercury goes retrograde, actually. So beautiful, 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 powerful placement for Venus. She couldn't be in a more powerful place during this eclipse that she rules. All right. So May 2nd, Venus moves into Aries and she starts her new voyage through the zodiac. And she's completely transformed at this point, right? When she moves in, she's going to be like, okay, let's go. I've got my new clothes on, my new sense of self, my new food plan, my new relationship. And so it's an exciting new beginning for Venus. Very powerful. All right, so more about the new moon solar eclipse again. So it's the beginning of an eclipse, whole series of eclipses, the first eclipse of the year. So it happens this Saturday, April 30th, 3:28 p.m. Austin, Texas time. The next eclipse will be a total lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Scorpio, and that happens on the 15th of May at 11:14 p.m. Austin time. So for some people, it'll be on the 16th. So that's the next eclipse. So, they usually come in pairs. So, and again, eclipse points are portals. People come into your lives and people leave your lives around eclipses. It's like the old Star Trek where it would go to warp speed. Our lives could be jettisoned forward in a powerful way during eclipses. We can have tremendous growth quickly, tremendous change quickly can happen. So it can be a change in your script, the ending of a chapter, the ending of a book, and a whole new book to write in. It's an evolutionary point. So they're powerful, potent, awesome times. So let's talk more about this 10-degree part of Taurus. So in this point where the eclipse is, Uranus has been working this area of Taurus since July of 2020. So Uranus is the great awakener. It breaks up things, it shifts things, it changes things. So I have a list of some of the areas that you may have already experienced change due to Uranus. So you could have had unexpected changes, both positive and negative, disruptive things happening, transformational changes in how you value yourself, in your finances. You could have created something you didn't see before. Somebody could have come into your life that you didn't see coming. You could have had changes in how you care for your body. You could have had changes in your physical routine, what you eat, how you sleep, your meditation, your daily routines could have changed. Changes in your finances, changes in your relationships, again, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. So where this portal is, and Uranus is at 14 degrees. So this eclipse will happen at 10. So they're 4 degrees apart. So Uranus is still officially conjunct this new moon solar eclipse. So it'll add extra zap of it can bring unexpected events into this eclipse period too. So your intentions can be even more powerful because of Uranus there. And again, Jupiter is conjunct Venus, the ruler of the eclipse, and Jupiter makes things bigger. So the intentions here, go into this eclipse clear about what your intentions are. It's an opportunity for new self-worth to really show up in your life. So I wrote that this eclipse can be more dynamic than usual, and eclipses are usually dynamic. And because Uranus knocks things down and then brings things back better, and Uranus has already cleared this area where the eclipse is happening, this eclipse point, it's like, the demolition crew's already come, and now there's a new foundation to be put in this same area of your chart. So wherever you have 10 degrees of Taurus, if you have any planets on or around this point, you're going to be feeling this even more so. So it will leave behind a new sense of stability, and a new area for growth and rejuvenation and regeneration and transformation and expansion. Okay, so let me take a sip of this water here. Mars, even though it's in Pisces, kind of, without its traction, it'll be sextiling this eclipse. So it actually gets a positive jolt of all this earth energy, which Mars does like. So it receives the energy from a sextile of the sun and moon and Uranus during this eclipse. So it sends grounding energy to Mars. So it's like the divine feminine energy is supporting the masculine energy. So it's been wandering, going, what? Where do I go? What? And you can receive those insights and the ability, and initiates an ability to take new action, even though Mars is not in its sign it's comfortable with. But Mars will be moving into its home sign of Aries before too long, and then it'll be really taking off. So it's definitely a great time for planning. All right, so then I have Jupiter sextiles Pluto on May 1st. This is a positive relationship between the planet that expands things and death and transformation. So you can get extra This will be right after the eclipse. So it can just adds like extra, and an extra little powder of transformation on the end of the eclipse going on. And then Jupiter moves into Aries May 10th. I already said that starts a new 12-year cycle. Okay, so Saturn has been squaring the nodes. Saturn is the restriction, constriction. It's where we have to apply extra effort for growth. People have been going, what the F has been going on? Why do things feel so intense? A lot of this has been Saturn, this restrictive planet. It's like the school mom with the ruler slapping your knuckles against North Node, what we're supposed to be learning, and the South Node, what we're releasing and letting go of. So it's been intensive times, and Saturn can create roadblocks and redirecting periods. It can be difficult moving forward with this square. Saturn's also about setting boundaries. It's the stop sign in the zodiac. Nope, you can't go here. So you can have had difficulty with others or just moving plans forward. It moves to 24 degrees on Tuesday. It's still going to be conjunct the nodes. The nodes are at 23. So we're still feeling this energy. So we're not completely out of it. It won't be as intensive, but we're still feeling it. So, but this is kind of the backdrop to going on. All this eclipse energy and powerful stuff is going to help lift the intensive energy that the squares to the nodes between Saturn and the nodes have been creating. So, so here we go. We'll talk about Pluto. Pluto goes retrograde on Friday. It'll be at 28 degrees of Capricorn. Friday the 29th is when it goes retrograde. So Pluto is like a wrecking ball. It's like a demolition crew. It's like having somebody, tearing up the earth or breaking down a building right next to you. It can just grate on you because it's like knocking things down, throwing hand grenades at your feet. It can be so intensive. And Pluto is death and transformation. It's power struggles. So a lot of people are experiencing, almost everybody is experiencing some sort of power and control issue in your life, especially if you have planets in these last degree points of Capricorn. You're really feeling it more intensive. But so wherever you've already been experiencing power and control issues showing up, the good news is that when Pluto goes retrograde, it's like it's going offline. It's not tearing up any more dirt. It's like the excavating bulldozer. The person turns off the motor and steps out of it. You're like, oh, okay. So it feels like a little bit of release. It's already uncovered everything we need to transform. Pluto's already shown you, and this and this and this need to be changed. And this is where the power and control issues are in your life, where you're fighting over power and control. The good news with that is that when Pluto goes retrograde, like you get the power back. The power goes back within yourself. Like it's like it flips the script. So, you may be fighting. If you've been in a power struggle with someone, expect that switch to be flipped, and you know, because you could be the one trying to do power and control over somebody else, and you may then be disarmed and have your armor and your tools taken away for that. If you're the bad guy that's been really, you know, just doing lording over your power and control over someone else. But it's about self-empowerment when Pluto goes retrograde. And it's about then, okay, all right, we've already been shown the areas of our life we need to transform. Now we can like have some wherewithal to actually do the deal, right? And if we don't do our work, Pluto will come back when it comes back direct and like knock us down all over again. So it's going to be retrograde until October 8th. So we have a number of months here with Pluto offline. So it's going to feel like, I think, a little bit of a relief for a lot of us. Yeah, I think Pluto retrograde's a good news. Like Mercury retrograde, we're like, oh no. Venus retrograde and Mars retrograde, the personal planets, when they go retrograde, we feel more slapped in the face. Since Pluto is an outer planet, it affects the collective more, right? So it's not turning up any more Earth, but again, it'll rev back up to move forward, and it will have to be going back over territory it's already gone over before it moves into new turf. But it goes direct just in time for the elections in November. So it'll be back, power and control issues raising their ugly heads will be ramped back up in October and into the end of the year. So that's kind of what I get on my notes that I took, because it was such an intensive week. Please set the intentions for what you want to plant new seeds in your life, and carry those into this new moon solar eclipse so that you can write them down even. I think it's great to write down your intentions around the eclipses and the new moons too, and then go back and check on them in 6 months and see, did all your new intentions come into, it's kind of like writing your list at, you know, at the end of the year, and then checking again at, you know, but this is like a 6-month check-in, because eclipses usually shift things for a good 6 months. And then we have more eclipses later this year. So write down your intentions, seal them, put them away somewhere to be opened up in 6 months, and see if you didn't create and manifest. And Taurus is about manifesting things. Tauruses are usually really good manifestors, making things happen. So this is an opportunity to manifest things that you want in your life, particularly in the realm of relationships and money and finances. So, and creative events as well, because, you know, this creative energy that Venus brings in, so it can be a great time to write new songs and write new plays and books and whatever, and create new artwork of all kinds too during this period. So that's what I have about the transits for this week. Let me take a swig of my water, and now we'll go to mini readings for all 12 signs. We'll start with the Aries, and this is what the Aries need to know, see, get guidance around for this powerful transformative week. The no thingness. Well, this is appropriate for a solar eclipse, new beginning. This card, the no thingness card, is about a blank, clean slate. It's just a black card. It's about a new beginning, a blank canvas. It says, what do you want to paint on it? So it kind of echoes what I've just been saying. What do you want to create, Aries? What do you want to manifest? It's up to you. Get clear about what you want. Write it down. What do you want to manifest in your life? Be specific. If it's about relationship and you want to manifest a new relationship, write it down. What are all the things you're looking for in a new relationship? How do you want to feel in the relationship? How do you want to be received, right? Finances, money. What do you want? What does that look like? Can you envision what your bank account looks like, or what it feels like to receive money and all the different ways you could receive it through electronic transfers, checks in the mail, people handing you cash, winning a lottery, you know, whatever you want. Getting clear about it this week can make it happen. This is also about creative projects. It's a great time to be creative. And sometimes it helps you to get clear about manifesting other things, to just engage into a creative project, whether that's cooking or gardening, or even doing a puzzle or an adult coloring book, where you're putting your energies into a creative flow, and then you can be open to receiving insights. Like a lot of times I get a lot of great insights, like when I'm gardening, for example, I'll be getting hits and all kinds of things happening, creative projects, you know, writing. So great week for new beginnings, and like the slate is clean. It's like forgive yourself. That's another thing about this Venus divine love. It can be about self-forgiveness, like wipe the slate clean. Whatever has gone down before today, you can't change it. You can forgive yourself, you can forgive other people, and you can move forward with new intentions. So that's what I say for the Aries for this week. All right, we'll go to the Tauruses. And since this new moon solar eclipse is happening in your sign, you can feel directly affected by this eclipse. It could launch a new beginning in your life in a very real way. So be open to how that could manifest for you, because it could be new jobs, new relationships, new projects, new followers on social media. Yeah, you could be highlighted in some way. Attention can be brought to you. I'm getting the exhaustion card. So the little hardworking Taurus is like, especially with all this Pisces energy, like it can, you know, it can be really, you know, like, oh man, just really feeling low ebb, you know. And the exhaustion card says, if you're tired, stop and rest, like take a break. Don't just keep plowing on through. I know you guys like to do what you say you're going to do, but if you're just not, if you don't have it, rest. It's okay. It's not okay. I mean, you guys, you like to be productive and you like to get things done. It's okay to have a week where you just rest and chill. Because this eclipse is happening in your sign, it could be really stirring up stuff. So if you've been getting emotional debris churned up, if you've been really churning extra in your mind, you may need to just take a break and relax and rest and chill and recover, so that you can move forward with your usual oomph and fervor. Let me draw another card. Actually, okay, we are the World card. So this card represents the ultimate in potentiality. So this is anything's possible. So you guys have a lot that you can manifest and achieve. You know, rest, make sure you feel ready for it, and then hit it with all the fervor that you've got to give. Because this is like the kiss. This is like the wheel in traditional astrology deck. This is like anything's possible. All people are there for you on the planet. This is about feeling connected to everyone. And that may be part of the exhaustion card too, is like you guys may be empathically picking up on people just being worn out. And I mean, the planet's been going through it on another level, on lots of levels. So if you're tapped in an empathic way, if you've got some psychic placements in your chart and you're like feeling the vibes of other people that are really going through it, it could affect you in a visceral way that you may just need to shut down, recharge, and then come back up again. Exhaustion card could also represent being sick and illness and just having to take some time off to heal yourself. So whatever you need to do to nurture yourself and heal yourself and open up to the unlimited possibilities that your life can possess, and set those new intentions so that when this solar eclipse comes on Saturday, you're ready and you're clear about what you're manifesting. All right, we'll go to the Geminis. Mercury moving into your sign this week can really feel like a switch getting turned on. Extra inventive, creative, like feeling like, oh, I got my mojo back on. Got my mojo working. Got the receptivity card coming up for the Gemini. So this is being open. This is a lot of this Pisces energy, being open and receptive to psychic and spiritual downloads, spending extra time getting out of that double brain of yours, the two heads of the Gemini mind, and just being receptive to insights in prayer, meditation, downloads from spirit, because this can be like getting an initiation of some sort is what I'm getting, like an anointing is what it feels like. There could be like some really powerful juju coming down that you can tap into with all these beautiful energies coming in. And you may be receiving a new relationship with the Venus ruling this eclipse and conjuncting with Neptune and Jupiter right now. You know, this energy is squaring you, so it could really stir things up and like saying, okay, I'm done with these old patterns. I'm done with this old relationship. I'm done with the single life. I'm open to new things. I'm open to being creative in new ways. I'm open to meditating. I'm open to being spiritual. I'm open to getting insights that I need to see about myself and the world around me and others in my life. Just feeling good and feeling clear and feeling open, open and receptive to divine healing, inspiration, clearing, cleansing, and divine love. That's what I get for the Gemini. Receive it. All right, I'll move to the Cancers. Creativity card. Oh yeah, this is about blooming and blossoming your creativity. What feels good to you? What do you love to create, Cancers? You could be creating delicious food. You could be creating a new wardrobe for yourself. You could be literally creating some artwork or music or drama, acting, writing some scripts of some sort. You may want to get out and go dancing. You may want to get out and listen to some music this week, Cancers. Like if you have an opportunity to be around the creative arts or to do creative arts yourself, do so, because it feels like you're going to be blessed even more with this beautiful Venus energy this week. It's like you're just going to get more out of it. It's like you go to a concert and you can just savor even more appreciation for the artists that are creating the beautiful music. If you go see, you know, a ballet, you're going to be able to really take it in. It just feels like your appreciation for the arts are heightened this week is what I got with the Cancer energy. And it just feels like it's a good week that you just feel emotionally better. Even though you may be up against some challenges, it's like you just go, what do I need to do today? And you let things flow. It feels like the right words can be flowing through you. It feels like you feel supported by the universe here. There's beautiful flowers blooming this week, beautiful colors around. It feels like, you know, dress yourself with beautiful clothes so that you feel beautiful, like fix your hair. Maybe you're getting your hair, something about hair. Maybe you're getting your hair done this week, or maybe you try some new braids or something with your hair, or a new headpiece or scarf or something. It feels like there's something with your head or hair, Cancers, this week. There's a beautiful healing energy. I'm just seeing this green ball of light moving down into the hand. So it feels like you're receiving healing. You may also be giving healing energy to other people. And there's a rainbow here above her head. You know, it's like a sign that things are going to be better. So even if they're not showed up yet, I feel like you get a sign this week that things are improving. And we've got this beautiful eclipse and all this beautiful Venus energy, and I feel like you're just enjoying that this week, Cancers. So it looks really lovely. All righty, we'll move to the Leos. So y'all are usually the kings and queens of romance. Leo rules the fifth house, and so Venus energy may inspire you to do something special for someone you love, or generate more self-love in a positive way. That's one thing I'm picking up already for the Leos. Got the postponement card. This is about feeling on hold, like it's not time yet. And this card can come up when people are feeling depressed, when their energy's backed up, it's not flowing. It feels like it could be just like taking a break because you've been putting out a lot of effort and you're exhausted right now. There's color here if you focus on it. In this card, this person is all gray, but if he just or she just turns her head and looks to what they can be positive in their life, like this is one of those gratitude experiments. I feel like is that if you just write a list of what you could be grateful for, and even having gratitude for stuff in your life that you want to complain about, the obstacles that you're up against, the poison in your life that you want to turn to medicine, there's an opportunity to flip it. I get this week to really shift the blocks and obstacles in your life and turn them into benefits. Like whatever you might want to complain about or feel like it's a painful austerity or it's not working well in your life, do you have a vision for what you want instead of that? Like a lot of people get stuck in the complaining and then make it worse instead of like, well, what do I want to be feeling? I want a job and I don't have a job and I've been applying everywhere and I just don't. Well, what do you want? You want like, applications flowing in, people wanting to hire you. You have to pick from 3 different employers. Like that would be like the opposite of that scenario, for example. So take yourself to what you want the solution to look like, the ideal scene for solutions in your life. Whatever the problem is, what are the solutions you want to manifest? And know that whatever you're going through right now, this too will pass. At some point, this will be history. Even if you're stuck, you're just on hold. Some of you got some good things coming. It's just not time yet for it, right? So it's like, just be patient. If you can't do anything to move things forward, breathe, turn things over to the divine, enjoy something, get creative, distract yourself so you're not fixated on something negative. I'm getting a real need to turn the negative mind and focus on things that are positive and just highlight what's beautiful and lovely in your life. Like look at the clouds and see beautiful things as kind of ink blots, like you see in things a reflection of how you're feeling. So look for the good. What can you say you appreciate? Can you appreciate your health? Can you appreciate people in your life? Can you appreciate having food to eat, a roof over your head, that kind of stuff? And I can hear the complaining, yeah, but I've got a mortgage to pay and I got bills to pay. No. Get out of the negativity is what I'm getting for the Leos. Like breathe deeply, go for a walk, do something fun that would make you laugh. It feels like it's gotten intensive. So do something that brings you joy. Call someone up that you can count on for a laugh, or get together with someone and say, I need my spirits lifted, and do something to lift your spirits, because this feels like it's within your power to change and shift things. So go for it. Make a shift, make a change this week. Don't put yourself on hold all week long. Allow things to shift, right? These are transformational portals that we're moving through with this eclipse. So you can completely transform whatever your situation that you may be stuck in or can't seem to resolve. This can be your week that something really shifts or begins to move in a positive direction for you. I feel it coming for y'all. All right, Virgos. See what's going on in Virgo land. You got the burden card. So this feels like, you guys are the helpers, the healers a lot of times. This is feeling burdened, weighed down. You're carrying someone else's weight. Maybe it's your weight that's extra, that you put too much on your own plate, or maybe you've said yes to people and you wish you hadn't. If you can unburden yourself, get out of responsibility, say, I know I said I would do that for you, but that's not going to work for me this week, at least. you know, you may be taking care of someone, you can't get out of the responsibility of it. What can you do to lift your own spirit? Can you sneak off and get a massage or get a manicure, pedicure, or let someone else tend you? This could be weighed down by financial burdens or somebody else's finances that are impacting you in a negative way. What can you do to just lift your spirits and tap into thoughts of abundance and know I have plenty for me and to share? It's like really you need to take the high road to see from a positive perspective, to feel enlightened when it comes to whatever this is that's weighing on you. You've got a mountain to climb, but I feel like if you breathe deeply, take a break, get the inner direction you need for this one moment. I mean, this is the time period where you may, instead of like, what do I feel guided to do today? You might feel like, okay, what do I feel guided to do for the next 20 minutes? And then like when that's done, what do I feel guided to do for the next 20 minutes? You may have to get it like in pieces, baby steps through it. But there's a way to shift and rejuvenate yourself just by stopping and whatever you're doing, remembering to breathe deeply, clear out the stress, clear out the toxic energy, the fixation on whatever, the frustration on whatever. Let the energy dissipate. Tap into divine energy, lift everything up in prayer, and just do the next right step. And I feel like, you know, this new moon solar eclipse portal point for you can be a shift in this. If this is a current pattern that's been going on for a while, this can be a complete shift and new beginning. You could really decide, I'm not going to keep doing this. You know, wherever the burden is coming in, like if you're doing it to yourself, no, I need to stop this. If you're taking on somebody else's weight and burden, there's a way to shift that as well. There's solutions this week is what I get for the Virgos, and realizations and ahas, and just turning it over, writing about it all, getting it out of your head. Virgo mind needs, you know, tend to fixate on things. Get it out, write it out. Then what is the solution? You see the problem. What do you want the solution to look like, right? A lot of times we get stuck and stay stuck in the problem and the obstacle. Ask yourself, well, what do I want in place of this feeling, this situation? And then start focusing on manifesting that, because anything's possible. You have to believe it first. You have to conceive it and then make it happen in your life. And you guys are hardworking, so you can make it happen. And you can have the realizations that you need this week, Virgos. Libras. Libras, y'all are also ruled by Venus, as well as the Tauruses. So you can really feel these eclipses in a powerful way in your life too, because it's ruled by Venus, and the Venus interactions with Neptune and Jupiter this week also can feel extra potent for you. So this feels like it's a beautiful week in love and relationships and money, and the source card agrees. It's like you will feel the hand of the divine, or the hands of the divine, or the energy source of the divine this week is what it feels like things that feel beyond your expectation, beyond what you think you can manifest yourself, beyond what you saw possible. I mean, it just feels like you're gonna go, OMG, this week. I can't believe it. Like, I feel like, and report back to me if you have these experiences, particularly around this new moon solar eclipse. Like, I can't believe, and then fill in the blank. Like, there's some wonderful, inexplicable, unbelievable things coming in, is what it feels like. And just really feeling that you are being protected and held and loved and cherished by divine energies. And it's showing up in a real tangible way this week is what I'm getting for the Libras. So enjoy and give me some feedback. I want to hear your positive reports of what happens, you know, for you guys this week. Scorpio. The experiencing card is coming up for the Scorpio. So this is like wanting to pull away from everything and really do some introspective work, like getting more time to yourself, more time in meditation, maybe more time soaking in a tub or walking in the woods. This person's outside where they're like just cloaked, and so that they're, they're with their own thoughts. The inside the cloak is this white energy. So this is like going within and receiving insight, receiving spiritual connection, like really just enjoying your own company and feeling, just all's well with the world this week. I'm getting there could be a lot of busyness though. And so getting these maybe stolen moments and maybe 5 minutes of alone time that you really have to, soak it up. Like you may not be able to have the luxury of taking a few days off or even a day off, but it feels like grab your solace and pieces then, like connect with yourself in whatever way you can before you lay your head down on the pillow to go to sleep. Just really tap in to the divine and check in and see if there's anything you need to know. Pay attention to your dreams this week, and they could be extra vivid. It just feels like I'm hearing rewards from positive actions, rewards for all your labor. It feels like you've been working hard and you're getting rewarded. So it may not look like time off, but you can create the time and just with appreciation and being very present in the moment. Kind of like your senses all heightened and being really just not in some other place while you're moving through something, but really fully present and being able to really enjoy each moment as if it's a spiritual awakening experience, no matter what you're doing. Like slow down while you're eating and just breathe deeply and really appreciate your food. It's a way you could just work in this time into your day, for example. So experiencing card for the Scorpios, and heightened experiences and enlightened experiences are what I'm getting as well for the Scorpios. Sagittarius. I pulled the guilt card. So this card sometimes does mean guilt. It means that there's something that's going on that you just keep thinking about over and over and over again and you feel bad about. More often in private sessions, it's just more like this, where you're caught up in some cray thinking, that you are overthinking things, that you're too caught up in something someone said or something you should have done, or trying to figure something out in your brain. And like this is like a silent scream too. So it may need to clear up emotions. And with all this Pisces watery energy, you may just be feeling extra emotions getting stirred up, because your sign is squaring all this Pisces energy. So you could feel like getting kind of, activated emotionally. Other people may be wanting things from you that you don't want to give. So this little person needs a break, needs to take some time off to just, what are your needs, right? Like being loving with yourself, tapping into like unconditional love and gentleness, and getting out of your head and just focusing on what you can have gratitude for. And if you're replaying something over and over and over again in your head, like write it down and burn it. Write it down, talk to someone else about it to just get it out of your system so that you can process it. Because if you're chewing on something in your mind over and over and over again, you need to get it out in some way, form, or fashion. So do a purging here with your brain, do a purging with your mind, especially because this is the week to be putting energy into getting clear about what you want. So if this situation, what can you get to a place of envisioning a peaceful mind, a peaceful emotional body, feeling peaceful, feeling joyful, feeling happy, feeling grateful, feeling appreciative, like really go to the positives instead of harping on something that's driving you crazy. I mean, you could have legitimate reasons to be wanting to pull your hair out. There could be someone in your life that's just really, really doing it for you. How can you just remove yourself from that energy and focus on positive things? It's really imperative this week. And then get really clear about what you're wanting to create new beginnings for your life coming towards this weekend with this new moon solar eclipse that's coming. This is a wonderful opportunity to shift this, get it out, clear it out, and open up to a different reality, a whole new beginning and a new way of reacting. This feels like just frustration and ramped up feelings too. So it's like calm the emotional body. You might need to like swim in a pool or soak in a tub or stand in the shower, get a massage, do some extra self-care to cool down your mind and emotional body. And you can shift it this week, Sagittarius. So it can be a good week. This card doesn't have to linger all week long. Get it done, clear it out, address it, and move on. Take action. There's some action that you can take to shift something you're frustrated about. Okay. And we'll move on to the Capricorns. Okay, the mind card. This looks, I mean, it's self-explanatory, right? This is the mind. This is the mind on too many thoughts. This is the mind on too many things that are frustrating. This is the mind blowing its gaskets. This is the mind over-fixated on itself, basically. And so what is the antidote for this? You know, you can literally envision taking your head up or sliding your brain aside and accessing divine energy. You may need to put on like chanting or tribal drums or solfeggio frequencies to help out, essential oils to help you out, because this is super intensive. This is trying to solve a problem, and you're not going to solve it by over fixating on it, right? You solve it by putting the mind aside and receiving insight, receiving guidance, receiving direction. There's just, I just feel so much frustration. There's also like just this wall that's been built up too. So it feels like some things may be coming to a head, something that you've been maybe repressing, emotions that have been repressed for a while. With all this Pisces energy, could really be stirring up your feelings, and you could just be like, but there's something I get that you're supposed to let go of and release and be willing to have a realization around it, be willing to have an anointment and a healing around whatever this is. Like, because this feels like it's like when you push on a bruise, this feels like some of you are just repeating stuff that makes you crazy and just keep thinking about it over and over and over again. Why? Not resolving anything. Like, put your mind on what you want to be experiencing in the place of whatever you're frustrated about, whatever you're caught up in. But things can be rubbing to a head. This Pluto in your sign can really be, when it goes retrograde, you may feel like, oh, a lift off. But until then, it feels like it's really jacking with you in a big way. It's like, I feel like there's a fear of letting go of control for you guys. Like, it's okay to surrender to the divine. It's okay not to win in an argument. It's okay to be teachable and to learn something new. You don't have to know it all. I know you guys think you know everything. This is like, this mind doesn't know anything. This mind is so confused and frustrated and doesn't know what the answers are and is maddened You could make yourself go crazy by overthinking. So calm the mind, really pull out the essential oils, things that make you put your attention on things that you can find beautiful and lovely, distract yourself with something to laugh, get involved in something that's just kind of rote or meditative so that you can just calm the mind down and chill, and then get the insights that are right there. It's like right here behind is all this beautiful yellow light here, and it's like ready to reveal to you. You just have to be open to receive. And with the mind full of all this stuff it's batting around, it's not open to receive something new. I feel like you guys need some new insight around something. Let go of how you think things should be, how you know things are, and allow yourself to have a new picture revealed to you by the divine this week. All right, Aquarians. The Trust card. Oh, it feels like you can take a deep breath right now and a leap of faith. So it feels some big project or something is over and completed now. It's like, this is also about trusting yourself and your process. It's about trusting the universe. It's about trusting other people. Like, who can you trust? There's people, this card is saying there's people in your life that you can trust. There may be people in your life you can't trust, but I feel like you can be clear about who those are and who those aren't. Like, when your heart just opens up, when you feel safe, when you can just drop open around someone, that's someone you can trust. If you feel guarded and yanked up and kinked around someone, there's a trust issue there. Like, are you doing that with yourself? Do you trust yourself? Have you been jacking yourself over? Or can you trust your ego? The addict, the lower vibrational self, can really wreak havoc. You guys are like to be rebels just because you know it all. But this is about trusting your own inner divine voice. This is about being teachable. This is about being willing to receive new insights and to just let go. And this person is flying through the air. This is like about making the impossible possible too this week, Aquarians. It's like, if it's something you've had a lot of anxiety and you can't do, like maybe this week you can find that you can do it. You've got this new moon solar eclipse coming as well this week, like everyone else. Like, that is extra special time for you to start something new, to trust your own inner voice and what it's guiding you to do. Like, really trust yourself is what I'm getting with this. Is like, you can trust yourself primarily is what I'm getting, not your ego self, your higher self. So it's like, are you turning everything over to the divine within you? Are you trying to ego manipulate your way through it? It'll make all the difference in the world whether you trust yourself, right? If you're like, all right, I'm surrendered, I can't do this, the divine within me needs to do this, then you can like, okay, do you trust that your prayers are answered? When you lift something up in prayer and ask for insight, ask for help, ask for guidance, do you trust that you're going to receive it? Because if you don't believe it, it won't happen. So you've got to ask and then be open to receive is what I'm getting this week for the Aquarians. And I feel like it could be a big shift, like a catapult forward in a new way when it comes to trusting yourself primarily, trusting the divine in your life, and possibly trusting other people too. Maybe someone else shows you that they're trustworthy as well. For most of you, I feel like this is something you're working out with your own self, your ego self, and your higher self, and needing to trust your higher self. Your ego self, not so much. Your higher self, yes. All right. And now we have the Pisces. With this stellium, you're probably feeling the best and the worst. You can feel really bipolar, I think. with the energies of all these planets in your sign. Stellium and Pisces can really bring out the best of the best. You can have the best of times and the worst of times this week. So let's take the high road and really rely on the higher energies. And what do you want to create with this new moon, new beginning, solar eclipse? The postponement card is coming up. So there's a hold here. You have to wait till something comes through. So you may be waiting on health. You may be waiting on your income return coming back. You may be waiting on someone else. You're waiting to hear something, but don't just sit there in the grave zone. Like, focus your creative energies on what you want to have happen. Can you put your energy into what you want to have instead of feeling just stuck and you can't? Okay, so you can't do what? You don't have control over what? What do you have control over while you're another area of your life is stuck or on hold, right? You can control where you're putting your attention and what you're spending your time doing. Are you wasting your time, or you're just wallowing around? This card shows up a lot when people are depressed, or you just like, again, this Pisces energy can be super intensive because it can bring out the worst, the underbelly of Pisces, the addiction, the illusion, the delusion, depression, right? But it can also bring up the high vibrational, like insights, spiritual ahas, realizations. Like, go for the gold, really spend time in spiritual practices this week, and you can completely shift this. If you don't do anything to shift this, you're going to be spending your time like just zoning out in front of a screen or sleeping or escaping in some way. But you can decide you're going to transform this energy, not let it keep you stuck or on hold all week long. Decide you're going to get creative. You're going to make a vision board for what you want with this new moon solar eclipse. You're going to do something new. And I'm getting creativity can really get your chi flowing. Doing something creative, writing something, writing in your journal, reaching out to people just to talk about it, to get things off your chest so that you can shift the energy, tap into divine energy, tap into what you could feel grateful for instead of focusing on the, you can turn poison to medicine. You can turn an obstacle into a benefit. If you twist it and look at your life in that way, that alone can bring hope. Even if you don't know how to shift it, you're faced with something within, internally, you're stuck physically, emotionally, mentally, you don't know how to shift it. All you can know is that this is poison. I want to turn it to medicine. I want to feel good. I don't know how, but I'm willing to be shown. Like, you're stuck in your life with an obstacle externally. I don't know how to shift this. I don't know how to change this person. You could receive the downloads of what insights you need to have around the situation. There's always a portal of opening up to the light. And I feel like if you guys work on being the alchemist this week, you can really shift something in a fundamental way and open up this portal to something completely new with this new moon solar eclipse at the end of the week. That's what I get for all 12 signs. If you've watched this whole thing through, I appreciate your very long attention and the fact that you're here with me, spending your time and energy right here. Remember, you're psychic too. Tap in, do something to recognize and realize and activate that on a daily basis, even if it's saying, what today do I feel guided to do? What this moment do I feel guided to do? And then wait for the response. And sometimes you have to ask that for a while, get into a habit of doing it before you start receiving guidance. And sometimes the guidance comes immediately or in your dreams or through a carrier, somebody else will come and bring you the guidance you need to be hearing. Ask for confirmation, ask to be shown several times, ask to be shown and confirmed whatever it is you're supposed to do, see, hear, believe, and it'll happen. Ask and you shall receive.